during his time with Nebraska, a second team All-American, freshman All-American, 2014 Jet Award punt returner of the year award winner, I should say. One of the best to ever do it when it comes to returning kicks, punts, and catching that ball as well. Mr. Pierson-El, how you doing, my friend?
Doing well, and yourself?
Dude, life is good. I appreciate you taking the time. So let's talk about Ja'Cory Barney and returning kicks. We have struggled for so long to do anything returning kicks wise, other than, I mean, obviously Ja'Cory's explosive. He refuses to be tackled as much as possible. But what are some of the other differences that you see? Why we've been so much better at returning kicks this year?
I think coach has done an excellent job of picking the right personnel, the right type of guys that, embody the right mentality, the selflessness to get a job done. It's the 10 guys in front of them. It's just not, Ja'Cory back there catching it. It's guys having, the passion to not let their guy be the guy that's one, tackle him, the first guy to tackle him, two, get beat by the guy. And even if they do get beat, they strain and make it difficult and a nuisance for, that guy to make the tackle. So I think it's coach identifying, the right people with the right kind of mindset, effort to be out there to make the unit go.
So when you watch Ja'Cory on his returns, obviously he's dynamic and explosive, but as a guy who used to do this yourself, are there some little things that you watch for, that you look for, like, oh, this dude's going to be really good before he ever actually does anything in a game? Because I can do something similar when it comes to watching guys get after the quarterback. What are some of the things us as fans should be watching for? You can help us out with.
First, when he gets out there, making sure that the right personnel is out there. You don't, penalties are drive killers. With our defense is playing, we're pinning people back deep, and he has a chance to return. So him getting out there, getting lined up, being at the right, line, the right measurement back. He has a jump on where the ball is going to be at. After that, if he looks out at the return unit, he looks to see who's the most threat multiple times. And that's not an easy skill, to look down, look up, look down again, and then find the ball and still be able to catch it and return. He does that, really, really well. He's catching the ball confident, high. He has his first and second move that he wants to do. He's catching the ball with his feet up under him instead of, catching it really wide or catching it going back. He always seems to catch the ball in the right position with, leaning forward to where he doesn't have to take a false step or anything like that. And that's not an easy skill to have. But he tracks the ball well. He's in the right position. The coaches at practice, have instilled that, and he's got that down to where that's more natural, and he's comfortable doing that.
Special teams always is fascinating for a lot of people, especially you look from the outside. There's all these athletes that, on every team, you think, okay, well, this guy could make a dynamic punt returner, or this guy could. And very rarely is it the case. It's a special skill. I remember interviewing you on the station actually when you were in high school, coming into Nebraska, and you said, "Don't punt to me." So you knew at a very early age. Of course, you were doing that in high school. How early was it for you? And can you tell with kind of other punt returners that they have it?
I think I knew at an early age. People that are around our high school area, they knew punt return, kick return, just don't even put it in the vicinity. That was a way to change the game and give a spark, just bring something different. And I think for people to know, the returner to know, it's a confidence thing. You going out there believing that you can make a difference. He's had big returns. He knew sooner or later he's going to get a touchdown. I think he's going to get in the end zone a couple more times this year and everything like that. But having that fact and that fearlessness and the awareness of it to where, it doesn't bother you. You got 11 people or 10 people, outside of the punter coming at you that can take your head off. And you looking, up in the sky for a ball. It kind of takes, for you to have a couple screws loose to do that itself, and then to be good at it, you have a few more loose. So I think definitely just athletes having the ability and the belief in themselves actually gives them, an edge.
So I've been told punts are, I didn't get a lot of opportunities to return punts in my day for whatever reason. I feel picked on. I'm just saying. By the way, I didn't know you'd been here that long, Jake. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You've been at the station that long.
Yeah, it's been a while.
How long have you been here?
2013.
Dude, that's phenomenal. I've been told, though, that returning punts, what the ball does in the air, is a lot harder than end over end, like trying to catch a kickoff return ball. Is it really that big a difference? Is it that much harder?
Absolutely. Especially if you have wind, depending on how the wind is going, it can affect the point of the ball. If the point of the ball is still going up, like the ball is still sailing. If the point of the ball is straight down, it's probably going to be a yard or two short from where you're at. And if it's kind of in between in the middle and everything like that, you can guess it'll be it won't sail, but it'll come down quick. So identifying how the ball is in the air will let you know if, okay, this ball is sailing, I need to, go back a few steps and kind of get to my angle. Or if the ball is straight down, okay, this ball is going to be short and coming up and fielding it and making sure, your elbows are tight. So that's definitely a key component of it.
So the fair catch thing, it's easy for me and Jake to sit here and say, oh man, they shouldn't be able to fair catch a kickoff at the 15-yard line and get it at the 25. What are your thoughts on this? Because obviously you've got a little bit more experience in this department.
I think this is where, the statistical stat people, the stats say this, the stats say that. And I think a lot of teams are getting, away from that. I don't like it because, returning is a part of the game. Even, at the NFL level, it's a job. You playing at the next level, 53-man roster. Specialist is a position to be carved out. So, the game, they want the game to be exciting and everything like that. Well, returns is a part of that. And I think, if they can continue to have that in there instead of, letting it go. And I understand being at the 25 and everything like that, but when you have dynamic guys back there that can, open the game up, Deshaun Jackson, what he did, with the Eagles, to the Giants, with even Honey Badger, what he was doing on returns and everything like that, it gives energy to the team. Winning 3 phases of the game, if you win 2 phases of the game, more than likely you should be able to pull it out. If you dominate in all 3, then you're punishing teams. So I think it's not a lost aspect, but it's kind of one of those things people don't. It's like the toppings instead of a necessity to come with things.
Dude, the Honey Badger, Tyler Matthew at LSU was something special. What was that? The Miracle in the Meadowlands. Weren't the Eagles down by like 21 in the fourth quarter to New York or something like that? I remember I was getting off the. What was it?
I said something like that. All right.
I remember I was getting off the bus. We had finished our game before there at the Skins, and we were getting ready to go on the plane. And I was like, holy cow, what is going on in the Meadowlands? And that was Michael Vick's second tenure in the NFL. He was with the Eagles. That was crazy. I remember I interviewed Johnny Rodgers. This interview was like 8-9 years ago, and I asked him about fair catches. He said he refused to do it. Now, again, that's easy for a guy like me to say, but you, Johnny, you guys have done it. He's like, I refuse to fair catch. It's like a point of pride. I always say that defensive players are a little bit crazy. You kind of just said returners are a little bit crazy. You got to be wired a little bit differently. I love all that. Dude, I wonder in today's NFL, if Devin Hester were around, would Devin Hester have been able to be Devin Hester? That's
For
something
sure.
I wonder. So what are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I mean, he is easily on the Mount Rushmore, of returners. People tried their best to kick it away from him. He would make it look easy. It wouldn't be the same. With how things are, especially with people and them not hitting as hard and how this line is, how the 2 lines are in the NFL and everything like that. Devin Hester is going to run at an angle, push people a certain way, make one cut, and he's gone.
DeMornay, I think kind of jumping back to the Huskers real quick, because I think it is interesting in just the difference between the kick return and the punt return is that people see the success that Ja'Cory Barney is having as a punt return and might think, well, why isn't he back there to return kicks?
Good question.
What kind of goes on? Is there different skills? Is it too much of a workload? What do you kind of how would you break that down?
I would probably assess it as that they want to give him a break. from being. I mean, at some point, it's hard to not have him on the field. You know, and 2 tight ends set, he's probably the second receiver out there typically. And you don't want him off the field. So you got to find, you know, ways to kind of rest him a little bit and not take, you know, maybe unnecessary hits, you know, especially the saying in the NFL, they typically have running backs, you know, back there because they're more familiar or running through holes that, you know, close fast and open is more of their skill set, or it comes a little bit more natural with them. A guy like that, I think it's just more so of a protection thing, not that he can't do it.
It's interesting. He mentioned running backs because Kenneth Williams has been back there a lot. He's our fastest running back that we have when you think about just top end speed. So I'm kind of waiting for him to pop off one of these and take it to the house one of these days. Before we let you go, man, let people know your show on the ticket. What day is it? What time is it? Where can they find it? How can they listen to you?
Monday through Thursday, live typically in the studio, typically at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9. I think Wednesdays we might move it to 7 to 8. But typically 8 to 9, and you can catch me talking about anything sports related, from boxing to water polo. We have a real fun show, you know.
Dude, I want you to bring me on sometime, and we're only going to talk water polo. How's that sound?
Okay, that's fine with me. You know, you're an athlete. I think, you know, you getting in the water. That'd be an interesting sight to see.
Yeah, I don't float as well as I think I should, but that's okay. Thanks for joining us.